This is a video on how to use EchoBase to send direct messages to your users if your defense is based on loading up your first two lines with your most powerful and your strongest squads. First thing you need to do is to get a list of the members who have not joined. These will be in alphabetical order. Write these members down. You're going to need them later. Then you're going to go into EchoBase. You're going to double check to see who is off and who is not. All right. Charlie, Dark, G'nay, Hex, ODA, Raining, Reaper, Rev, Rum, and Yarn. Okay, so we're going to decide our strategy. We'll decide which sectors we want to protect. This will give defensive direct messages to your users, and it'll tell them what priority to set. Might as well set the fleet this way. That doesn't really matter. But what you're going to do is decide whether you want to protect your front lines and whether you want to protect the top and where you want your attackers to go. We would like to see the attackers go south. So what we might do is set this. Now, if one of the things we want to do is what I call sacrifice the front line, sandbag them, you might set this as the weakest, might set this as the second weakest. You might want to protect that one. You might want to protect, so you might want to set it up like this. So once they go through, they're going to go hit the bottom sector first because it looks weakest. Then they're going to hit this big, huge wall of your absolute best defense. And they'll go, wow, we got fooled. So they may go back up to the top sector to try to get through that. And once they try to get through that, what they have done is they've wasted two sets of their best squads. Then they're going to hit this other sector, which we have marked priority 2. And I'm going to go ahead and mark these my favorite. I like setting these up this way. Now, you're going to go down to your highest priority, whichever one that is, whichever one is priority number 1. And you're going to kind of guess. Oh, the next thing we're going to do is we've decided we're going to try a 60% attack and a 40% defense. So we set that up there. So we're going to go to our highest priority, and we're going to guess what strength teams we're going to be able to put in. So let's try this right here. And we're going to submit this. Once our pin. We're going to send it to the test group. We're not going to set any notifications. We're not going to set any mentions. We're not going to set any DMs. We're going to include first test. Now, the test channel is only read by officers, so it's not going to spam people. It would have been nice if they had had a preview here, but let's go back to our test channel. And we're going to look at the top here, and it says that, yeah, while we might be able to do 115K on this sector number 4, priority 1, we're not going to be able to do 110K in that other sector. So we're going to come back here. We're going to change this to 105. And just for the heck of it, we're going to see what we're going to be able to do. Okay, 105 in sector 3. Let's see what it does. Okay, how are we doing? Hey, we could do 105 in sector 3. So there's your one. You've got 115K in sector 4. You can do 105K in sector 3. Now let's see what we can do about our frontline sectors. We want to make it look plausible. So we're going to put in, let's put in 100K here, and let's put in 95K here. So hopefully they're going to run down to the 95K one, run through, and get hit by that 115K one there. I'm going to guess that I should probably drop that sector number 1 to 110, but let me leave it the way it is now. Now, I'll tell you what. Now, okay, I'm going to leave it. Let's see what we got. Okay, front line. Submit it. Wait for it to post. And this is basically what you're going to do until you come up with the highest. There you go. Not bad. All right, now we're going to fill out the rest. This might be an interesting war. I would like to see 90K here. Is this even possible? And say 85 here. And 80 here. And 70 there. Is this even going to work? Okay, filled. Well, this is going to be an interesting war. Oh, there we go. Sector 7, we can't do whatever it is I had in Sector 7. Let's go back to Sector 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We cannot do 85K right there. So let's drop this to 80K. Let's, for fun, put this up to 75K. Run it again. Build number 2. Submit it. see if we've got all green. We've got all green, so that's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to go. So I'd like to go back here, and I like to do a print screen of that map to give and post. Now, you do know that if somebody else joins in the meantime, they could mess things all up. We really like to encourage them to join before the deadline. But since we've got everything blocked, we can go ahead and wait. We are not in much of a panic. We're going to go back here. This is where we're going to leave it. And when we finally do our final submission, after the lock-in, and we know who's there, we don't send that to the Discord channel. We send it to the Territory Wars chat. We notify the officers. Don't notify somebody else's officer, notify your own. We send direct messages to everybody, and we give them a little bit of encouragement. And this would be your final setting. But I'm going to go ahead and wait until 3:05 p.m. or 3 p.m. to make sure everybody's online. And then I would end up double checking to see who's on and who isn't. By looking at this, I do know that Yarn does not like to defend, and he's not logged in yet. Oda joined the war last time and didn't do anything, and he hasn't joined yet. So we're doing okay right here until it's time to run our final. Once you run the final, you're going to go back and you're going to unlock these, and you're going to change the commands, and you're going to put in something like 95K. You're going to put in something like your fourth best, or 95K plus, or whatever the number was. And you're going to go ahead and do that for each one of these sectors. Just to remind the users, on the fleets, it's really a matter of having your best defense here, and you could actually set this one up right now. But this is the video for now, and we can review it later. This is a interesting strategy if you don't want to keep a spreadsheet of all of your users. You let the bot do it. And I would recommend, if you're using EchoBase, I would recommend collecting a couple bucks from the guild and donating to EchoBase to keep them running. This is Concord signing off, and let's see what this sounds like.